Hello and welcome to the Self-Love Journey podcast. I'm so glad you're here because this is your space to explore the path from food cravings to freedom, heart-connected living, and shining your authentic light. I'm Kendra, your host and a heart coach. My vision is inspiring purpose-driven individuals to thrive with food, yourself, and your life, creating a life of joy and fulfillment. If you've ever felt stuck in guilt or shame around food, or dreamed of waking up feeling at ease, joy, energized, and free, this podcast is for you. I believe we have all the wisdom in our heart, and together we will reconnect with this wisdom. Check out the show notes for more details on my offerings, and let's start. Grab your journal, take a deep breath in, and enjoy this moment for you and your heart. Let's begin this beautiful journey, your self-love journey.
Hello and welcome to Self-Love Journey, the podcast, my really first episode on this podcast. And I'm so glad that you are here, that you're starting this journey with me, because it will be a journey all about finally breaking free from this pattern around emotional eating, food cravings, embracing food freedom, but on the same time, living a life as your more authentic self. Connected more to the heart, because I truly believe that we have all the wisdom in our heart to finally feel more at ease, more joy. Stop being obsessed with thoughts around food if food is a topic for you. But there might be any other thing that might limit you a little bit, stop you from fully thriving and shining your light. So it's beautiful to have you here. And in this really first episode, I want to share a little bit about my story and my experience, and so the background behind the inspiration of this podcast, and why I truly believe that heart connection and this podcast can guide you also on your journey, on your self-love journey. So let me start maybe with this, because I think it has a little nice reminders for all of us. So for me, I suffered 15 years from bulimia. I don't know if you know what it is. You know, it's like when you cannot stop eating, you're feeling you're in this autopilot. It's like all your thoughts are just about food and you cannot go out of it. And then at some point you might throw up to get rid of this food again. And for me, what was really like a trigger was that I was not living a life that I wanted, that my need wanted. I was like in this social construct of fulfilling expectations of others, of what society might think. And so I was more trying to meet the needs of others and expectations of others than of mine. And this is nothing sustainable, so it was all the time somehow working against me, not being able to be there with me, hugging me. I searched comfort, love, peace, calm in food, you know? And but on like to fulfill this inner void. But with this, like, it's not just, oh, cool, now I'm eating the food and it's all good. I also was in the same time struggling with my body image, having this pressure of needing to be thin, looking nice, this fear of gaining weight, you know, and this then was causing this painful circle. Like somehow I needed the food to fulfill this inner void. I was not able to sit with all these emotions, but on the same time feeling this guilt and this shame that I don't want to eat this food, but I somehow cannot stop it against my body. And this was like coming in all this situation. It can be like all these emotional triggers that can be felt, like anxiety about a future or stress around work, or being lonely, boredom, having a night at home. What do you do with your time, with yourself? this fear of missing out, anxious about what to come, or maybe also even in celebrations, like, oh, I did this, I'm proud of myself. So now let's treat yourself with a piece of cake, but then it does not stay one cake. It can be way more. So in this podcast, I will share much more of possible situations. This is just like a glimpse of what is to come. So it's basically battling with all of these cravings, of the cycles of not really being able to sit in emotion, to sit with an emotion, to feel an emotion, to numb yourself with the food. And I was constantly obsessed with thoughts around food, counting calories, but also struggling and thinking, why am I so weird? Why can I not just deal with it? Why can I not just eat normally? Like, why can I not just stop? And what is wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? Until one day I realized, you know what? I cannot do it on my own. So I was searching for help. And the first help I got was a therapist session. A therapist. And in this really first session, I had this aha moment. Because my therapist, when I started talking and sharing, she told me, you don't have any self-love. And then I paused and was like, self-love? What does this have to do with self-love? I always thought, isn't it about discipline? About controlling food? This was like a completely new perspective for me. And I understood, not in this first session, but I get the glimpse that it was about taking care of myself, of my emotions, of my feelings, of my needs, truly recognizing myself, honoring me, and loving myself. And this said, I started to look for guidance, because I also understood really quick that 1 hour therapy session per week is nice. It's helpful for sure. But it won't just help me to heal, and go out of it. So I was searching for mentors on my journey. But where I really found guidance in the beginning was in meditation and journaling, and finding this time for myself, or really sit there and start going within, start understanding what is there. And how I did it there was when I started to connect with my heart. And this heart connection for me was this changing moment, this guide I needed on my journey. And I started visualizing all these inner parts within me. I now call my heart inhabitants. And I started little by little having a dialogue with them, asking questions, listening, and understanding. Why do I need the food in this moment? Why do I need food to comfort me? What am I trying to fill? What is it what I really need? And then little changes, like little by little, the obsessions around food got less. I could better deal with craving. Sometimes I was able to stop them. Sometimes I went in, but then I knew how to reflect afterwards, what to do. It's like a journey that takes time. It's a process where I don't want to put any timing on. We are all having our own rhythm. But that was like this first change of, when I include my heart wisdom, when I really take this time for me to meditate, to journal, to truly understand what I need, I can build a normal relationship, a healthier one. I can break these patterns. However, I still felt there's something more. I was not truly fulfilled in life yet, feeling the joy. I always thought, when I'm handling the food, when I'm more chilled around it, I will also eat better, and then I look super healthy, I will be loved in my body, and then I will thrive. I will have this fulfilled and joyful life, but somehow not. Somehow it wasn't there. And at some point when I was not obsessed with thoughts around food anymore all the time, I made new space in my mind, and I started wondering, what is my vision in life? What would fulfill me? And I realized I was stuck in that corporate world, in a job that's nice, but that I enjoyed, and I would enjoy still, but it's not aligned with my soul's purpose. It's not aligned with why I'm here on earth, What is it what I really want? And with this, I kept in the cycle of emotional eating because something still was not felt, it was not connected, Until one day, I was for my holidays in Colombia. I will share more on this podcast about my story with Colombia, but at that particular moment, I was on my holidays in Colombia, laying in a hammock, looking at the ocean. I remember I was reading the book of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and I asked my heart, what is my vision in life? What is it what I should really do? And I asked this question many times, but that day, that time, there came the answer, and it was so clear. You should organize retreats here. I was like, who am I to organize retreats? By that time I was working as a business consultant, had my marketing career. So I was like, okay. And I went back to Germany, but this voice stayed and grew louder and louder. Every time I meditated, I journaled, I kept hearing her until I could see my first retreat happening in Colombia. I saw how I was receiving the participants, how they left at home, again with this huge smile and this shine in their eyes. And everything we can visualize becomes reality in some point. And this, like seeing little by little more tangible my retreat, I started talking about it. I shared it with friends. And by this, I invited people into my life that started a coaching training. And I was like, wow, that's interesting, Maybe I can do a coaching training. And this is what I did. I started my NLP coaching, and while I did the training, I realized, wow, this is something that really fulfills me. I always was admiring my boss by that time when we went to a new client workshop, and she just went into the room and without preparing was there on fire, on point, knew exactly what to say. And I felt like this. I started a coaching. Now I was there present with a coach in front of me, and I just knew what questions to ask, how to guide them into their heart. And I realized also in this coaching training, there are methodologies to connect to our heart. Everything I started doing intuitively on my healing journey, came more and more together. And I saw, wow, I can guide people with this. I can inspire people to connect to their heart. And the more I was on that journey, I kept healing from my eating disorder, and it became better and better. So it was still there, and then I decided to take the leap. I quit my job, my apartment, and I moved to Colombia, following my heart's voice that told me you should organize retreats. And now I'm here. It was 3 years ago. Since 3 years, I'm living my authentic life. I would say a life I was not even there to dream of. And it's not just for myself, but also for the people I have the honor to meet on my journey, to guide as clients, or to have in my life as friends. And, like most of the year now, I'm living by the beach. I'm as a nomad. having this time to take time to really connect to my heart, stay present. I'm still on my journey, and this podcast, I will share so much what's currently going on for me. But I say it's an onion, and we need to peel layer by layer, and I have the time for it, to take every morning time for me to journal, to meditate, to dance, to include also my body. And besides that, I also started nourishing my body from a place of love, not guilt or shame. So now sometimes I go to a coffee place and I am able to enjoy this piece of cake without guilt and shame. Or I have these beautiful dates with myself where I go in the evening alone to a restaurant with a book. And I remember the other day I was having this amazing bowl with all different kinds of veggies, grains, nuts, fish. And with every new bite, with every spoon, I discovered something new. And it was just this explosion of different flavors and textures in my mouth. And I was like, wow, I'm really savoring it. I'm really eating mindfully and slow. That was not possible for 15 years or ever. It's something I'm still, sometimes when I have it, I'm like, wow, it's this beautiful surprise what life gifted me with. And it's all about really being able. This is something I realized. So this is being able on a day-to-day basis to turn inwards, to connect to your heart. How are you feeling? Because it's not that I'm like every day 100% in ease joy. No, life is a dance between all the emotions. It's about learning how to deal with stressful times, with anxiety, with loneliness, with boredom, and not needing the food anymore for this to feel happy, to find the guidance and the wisdom in your heart with compassion, building self-worth, self-acceptance. And it's all about not being anymore on this autopilot of food cravings, etc. And yeah, that's where I am now. And I hosted so many retreats by now, 7 in Colombia, Germany, Bali. I had over 100 online, offline sessions where I could inspire other women and also men to break free from emotional eating or connect to the heart, give the heart a voice, rediscover the inner light. And for me, it's so fulfilling, and that's what keeps me moving, watching them transform little by little, start more and more seeing this light shining in their eyes, going every day a new step, also on their vision. Is it healing the relationship with food? Or maybe it's not about healing, it's about normalizing it and being able to manage and deal these moments of emotional eating, of food cravings, and creating a life you really want. And I think watching the time, wow, we are already 17 minutes on. It went so quick. I wanted to share more about how is it really to live heart connected, defining it a little bit, giving you practical tools. This I will do in the second episode, I feel. So this one doesn't get too long. And I'm so, so grateful that you listened until here. And I hope we walk this journey together. Maybe you take a little moment now for yourself with your journal and take the next step on your self-love journey, asking your heart, what is maybe some message you need to know now? And if you like this episode, this first teaser of what is there to come, I will share a lot of, just to give you an outlook, also practical tips, how to connect to your heart, like to understand who am I authentically, what is the life I want to create, what do you need to thrive, but also combined with this food freedom, practical tips to eat more mindfully, intuitively, being able to understand why food is really serving me for, or other addictions you might have, to start thriving, to start living with more joy and ease. It will be all practical tips. It will be educational content, because I'm also really teaching myself on all these topics, and I will share everything I'm learning with you. Also experiences for myself, personal experiences, and we also will have heartfelt conversation interviews with others. So it's a beautiful mixture, all with the intention from my heart to, with every episode, inspire you a little bit more on your journey, maybe getting an insight more for your journey, to take the next step on your self-love journey. So if you like this first episode, if you like this idea of the podcast, please subscribe and maybe leave already a review. That helps me in the rankings. In the show note, you find more links about how we can work together on the journey, about my coaching programs, my retreats, everything I offer. And having said this, take a last deep breath into your heart. Feel your heart. And stay in this connection a little longer. And enjoy your day to day with an open heart. A big hug from my heart to your heart. Your Kendra.
Thank you for having listened to the Self-Love Journey podcast. Let's take one final deep breath together, right into our heart, visualizing our inner light and feeling it. Carry that feeling with you as you move through your day, just a little bit more heart connected. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share it with someone who might also enjoy it, and leave a rating. Thank you. You will find links to my offerings and other channels in the show notes, so be sure to check them out. From my heart to your heart, thank you for being here. I'll see you next week for another inspirational, heart-connecting episode.